Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into this video in which we will look at the angle of inclination, which is the angle made by a line with a positive x-axis. So for this red line here, its angle of inclination is this angle here. For this blue line, which is leaning to the left, its angle of inclination isn't the angle in there because it's got to be the angle made with the positive x-axis. The angle of inclination of the blue line is this angle here. I'll just call it alpha. So let's look at the relationship between the gradient and the angle of inclination. So let's look again at this red line. So let's say I want to find its gradient. Well, I can pick 2 points here and here. The gradient is the rise, how far I've gone up or down, divided by the run, how far we've gone across. So another way to write that is using this triangle. So this triangle means change in. It's the capital Greek letter delta. So the gradient of this red line is the change in y, which is the rise, over the change in x, which is the run. Okay, that's all well and good. But let's look at this angle here, theta. You see, we know from SOHCAHTOA that tan theta is just the opposite, which is the change in y, divided by the adjacent, which is the change in x. Notice here, the gradient and tan theta are both equal to delta y over delta x. So, of course, that means the gradient of any line is equal to the tan of its angle of inclination. So if the angle of inclination of a line is 30 degrees, its gradient is just going to be tan of 30 degrees. Make sure you're in degrees mode. That gives us an answer of about 0.577. That would be its gradient. So what if a line has gradient -5/2? What's its angle of inclination? If I know the gradient, how do I find the angle of inclination? Well, that's very simple. If m equals tan theta, then theta is just going to be the tan inverse of the gradient. So the angle of inclination of this line here is just going to be the tan inverse of the gradient, which is -5/2. Now, when you put that on your calculator, some calculators will give you a negative answer, about -68 degrees. Some will give you a positive answer. Now, the angle of inclination has to be between 0 and 180 degrees. So if your calculator gives you the answer -68, just add 180 to the answer and you'll get the answer 112 degrees. The reason if your calculator gave you the answer -68 that you can just add 180 to it is because of this equation here. This is an identity that we're going to look at later in the course. Tan of 180 plus theta equals tan theta. Like tan of 5 degrees equals tan of 185 degrees. Both give you the same number. So for that reason, tan of -68 is the same as tan of 112. That's our answer. All right, thank you so much for tuning into this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.